You ever wonder why your emails get across the ocean?
Most bears don't think about it. They just send out little messages, the memes, and they never stop to ask what's down there.
I know what's down there, and I wish I didn't.
Okay, but I got some cool articles here for us. I don't have a chance to read these ahead of time, but so we're going on an adventure. Gen Z could wave goodbye to resumes because most companies have turned to skills-based recruitment and find it more effective. Oh, that's cool.
Hello, name's Burly. Burly Bear. You want some salmon?
I love chocolate, but I'm not sure about these salmon surprises.
I can eat about 1.5 million of these. My mama always said life was like a box of salmon. You never know what you're gonna get.
Skills-based hiring is more effective, the data shows. That makes sense, yeah. Employers surveyed use skill-based hiring, which includes role-specific skills assessments instead of simply scanning someone's listed career experience. Reported massive gains. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? According to Test Gorilla's research. Okay, so that's their research. That makes sense. It reduced the number of mishires by 88%. How do you calculate that? Like, and hiring-related costs by 74. I don't know. Overall, 92% of the employers surveyed reported that skills-based hiring is more effective at identifying talented candidates than a traditional CV.
What you do is lay your cables along the bottom. On a good day, you can push over 100 petabytes. Everything goes through right. 2 bears cabling 10 hours, less than what you spend on shock repairs. It's not hard when you get paid for this. Anyway, like I was saying, fiber optics, the fruit of the sea. You can bury it, splice it, route it, lay it, test it. There's transatlantic cable, trans-Pacific cable, Mediterranean cable, deep sea, shallow sea, coastal cable. There's internet cable, phone cable, banking cable, streaming cable, cable for emails, cable for memes, cable for video calls, cable for cat videos, cable for stock trades, cable for everything. That's about it.
We are trying to make sure that the test or the question is as relevant to the job as possible. That's the reason that candidates love it too. Okay, yeah, cool. Move to scrap CVs comes first as firms drop degree requirements. Oh, look at that. Google, Microsoft, IBM, and Apple previously eliminated their long-held degree requirements to remove barriers to entry and recruit more diverse talent. Meanwhile, recruiters globally are 5 times more likely to search new hires by skills over higher education. A former Cisco top executive in the UK also said young aspiring workers would be better off skipping out on college to join the world of work straight away. I didn't agree with that.
Nighttime on the island. It's a lonely time.
It worked out for me very well. In university, you come out with whatever degree you may get, but it's almost certainly saddled with debt. That's true. And then not job experience, just school. Is that better than on-the-job experience, where you're rotating through different parts of your organization and living the reality, not just a theory? For me, attitude and aptitude are more important than whatever letters you have after your name or whatever qualifications you got on a sheet. True, but definitely there's for sure always caveat, like if you're an engineer, like obviously a lawyer, doctor, they have to go to school. But researchers have shown the skeptical Gen Z remains unconvinced. They're shunning apprenticeship schemes in favor of going down the traditional route of college. So perhaps they will still go through the bore of writing a resume, even if with a college degree, blah, 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 blah. What is this? Gen Z aren't taking to apprenticeships like millennials did, despite CEOs like Tim Cook and Richard Branson praising university alternatives. That's for me. Yeah, I don't love sitting in class, but it's not, it's whatever. Cool. Thank you so much, Oriana. Beautiful name, Oriana Rose. Wow, gorgeous. Let's see. We're gonna not. Thanks, Fortune. Oh, here's another Fortune. Oh, are we gonna be able to read? Getting hired in 2026 is all about your micro credentials. Well, I'm gonna have to have a guy, a micro credentials guy that says, "This is legit." I guess what Coursera and edX is. Yeah. Managers will be grappling with how to deploy AI into their business. What skills are really needed? Oh God. Okay. Younger workers who have struggled the most, according to November note from Oxford Economics. Gen Z job seekers from 13 to 28 are facing multiple barriers. Hiring tracking downward, unemployment has risen. Education is a significant factor in the job prospects of young people. Those who have a college degree face a fractionally lower unemployment rate. Fractionally lower. Oof. A little over 6% than their peers with a high school diploma or some level of college training. I remember one time I was applying for a job at a cafe and I did not have a degree, and the owner made fun of me for that. Like, I'm like 1,000% sure I don't need a degree to make coffee, but thank you, sir. I wish you well. Skills-based hiring can help us recruit for jobs that don't exist yet. Exciting. I want to know all about jobs that don't exist yet. Technological advances of recent years have been changing the workplace and raising debate over the future of work. Conversations around skill-based hiring are booming and have widened to include skills-based onboarding, pay, and workforces. Technical skills may change, but human ones won't. That's true. Breaking jobs down, laser focusing on the underlying skills needed for success, adaptability. In recent years, conversations around skills-based hiring have boomed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What is skills-based? Skills-based workforce. Specific roles and titles associated with responsibilities with static organizational structure. Jobs have been at the center of the HR function within an organization, including hiring, performance management, training, pay, and internal mobility. More and more organizations are prioritizing skills rather than the roles or titles in workforce planning and management. This is what's known as having a skills-based workforce. Deloitte, which has conducted a lot of research into the shift, has described it as liberating work and workers from the confines of the job. The term future-proof gets thrown around a lot, but I don't think it's useful. The future will never stop unfolding in front of our eyes. True, very true. The only thing organizations and job seekers can be certain of is that there will be change. Making the shift from jobs-based workforce to skills-based workforce will undoubtedly be the shift that helps organizations become as agile as the future requires. Employers will need to know what underlying universal skills to look for if they want to hire someone. They can upskill when skills change rather than just hiring someone profiled for a certain role because they have 6 years of experience in the same role at another company. Technical skills are coming into and then quickly out of relevance. Yeah. But skills-based workforce understand their people holistically rather than just through the technical requirements of the job titles. Taking a skills-based approach to hiring. Test Gorilla again. Okay, I feel like Test Gorilla is very invested in this. So I feel like they're all. Did Test Gorilla fund all of this? Okay, thanks, Test Gorilla. Appreciate you. Imagine career paths 2025. The ones your parents know exist. Cool. Here's the thing about jobs. They change. Remember when your parents wanted you to become an engineer, doctor, lawyer, because those were the safe options. Fast forward to 2025, and the safe options now include things like hacking into systems, creating viral videos, and building fake realities. Ethical hacking and cybersecurity. Can I read this? Thank you. Personality, curious, problem solvers. Okay, cool. What else? Digital content creation. Okay. Yep. Very cool if you're good at it. Climate science, because someone has to save the planet. Well, who's gonna pay for that though? But yes, agreed. Such a doomer. UX, UI. Yeah, the people who make apps less annoying. Well, like intuitive. Intuitive, I think. It's the most important thing. Yeah, they are. It's like really hard to. Okay, anyway. Esports and game development, gaming, but make it a job. Biotech and genomics. Ooh. Curing diseases, create lab-grown meat. Yeah. Ooh. How do I feel about this? Like, I mean, from a non-violence perspective, yes, love it. But from like, what is it gonna do to our bodies? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. AR, VR development. Ooh, that sounds super fun. Look at that. ArtKit, Unreal Engines. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Digital health. Ooh, the doctor will see you online. Don't love that, but it's good. It's hit or miss. I have mixed feelings about that. Degrees, internships, and figuring it out. Core degree will help. Pair it with certifications, more short-term courses. Yeah, I guess. And oh no, I'm gonna not read that. Underwater cables are a vital piece of the AI build-out, and internet investment is booming. Undersea cables carry hundreds of terabytes of international data per second, including I cannot talk today. Wow. Including government communications, financial transactions, email, video, calls, and streaming. Investment into new subsea cable projects is expected to reach around 13 billion between 2025 and 2027. Tech giants Meta, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are investing in the cables as part of the AI push. Over 95% of international data and voice call traffic travels through nearly 1 million miles of underwater communication cables. These cables carry communications, blah, okay, yes, we get it. About 10 years ago, we saw the advent of another big category, which is the web scale players like Meta, Google, Amazon, etc., who represent probably 50% of the overall market. Alcatel is the world's largest subsea cable manufacturer, and selling according to the industry's trade magazine's Submarine Telecoms Forum. Demand for the subsea cables is increasing as tech giants race to develop computation-intensive artificial intelligence models and connect their growing networks of data centers. Okay, investment into new subsea cable projects is expected to reach about 13 billion between 25 and 27, almost twice the amount that was invested between 22 and 24. Wow, look at that! It's got wires and cables and things flying around everywhere. How did they get it from here all the way to here? What is that process? AI is increasing the need for subsea infrastructure. Sometimes when people think about AI, they think about the data centers, they think about the compute, they think about the data, but the reality is that the connectivity that connects those data centers, what you have are really expensive warehouses. In February, the company announced Project Waterworth, 50 kilometers, a 50-kilometer cable that will connect 5 continents, making it the world's longest subsea cable project. Meta will be the sole owner of Waterworth. How much is that going to be publicly funded, is my question. Which the company says will be a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar project. Amazon also recently announced its first wholly owned subsea cable project called Fastnet. Fastnet will connect Maryland's eastern shore to County Cork, Ireland. Capacity will exceed 320 terabits per second, which is equivalent to streaming 12.5 million HD movies simultaneously, according to Amazon. Subsea is really essential for AWS and for any connectivity internationally across oceans. Without subsea, you have to rely on satellite connectivity, which can work, but satellite has higher latency, higher costs, and you just can't get enough capacity or throughput to what our customers and internet in general need. Interesting. Let's see. Google is another large player, having invested over 30 subsea cables. One of the company's latest projects is Sol, which will connect the US, Bermuda, and Azores and Spain. The Azores? What is this? The Azores. It's an island? Autonomous region of the... Okay, cool. Portugal. Oh, pretty. Very nice. Okay, cool. You've seen this huge growth in submarine cables in the past 20 years, and it's driven by just a voracious demand for data. If you cut cable, you can cut off multiple countries from internet access, and that includes financial transactions, banking, e-commerce, and basic communications. That very thing happened to Tonga, an island nation east of Australia. In 2022, debris from an underwater volcanic eruption severed the island's only subsea communication cable. Oh no! That's awful. Cutting the island off from the rest of the world. In September, cuts to the subsea cables in the Red Sea caused disruptions to Microsoft Azure cloud service. The company was able to reroute traffic, but users in Asia and the Middle East still face increased latency problems. Experts have said the majority of subsea cable damage are accidental, usually due to fishing activity or ship accidentally dropping its anchor on a cable, but lately these cables are becoming the suspected targets of sabotage. Oh no. Wow, that's huge. When you have so many vessels in international waters that are highly trafficked by lots of commercial vessels and fishing vessels, the likelihood of accidents is fairly high. But if you're a hostile actor and you know that as well, so if you're sending out the so-called Russian ghost fleet, or you have a Chinese fishing vessel and cable is accidentally cut, you can just say, "Oh well, it was an accident," but it could be intentional. So it's really hard to discern sometimes when an act of damage is actually intentional or accidental. I would say that we have seen a significant uptick in what we'd consider intentional damages. In 2024 and 2025, we saw a notable increase in incidents that occurred in the Baltic Sea around Taiwan. And so it's difficult to be able to determine with 100% validity that these are intentional. As a result, I don't believe we've seen any incidents of cable severing since late January 2025. US-China tension. Oh, okay. One area we've been particularly focused on are the threats that come from Chinese Communist Party as well from Russia, FCC. Bleh. So we're taking actions right now to make it difficult or effectively prohibiting the ability to connect undersea cables directly from the US to a foreign adversary nation. Ew. How do you do that? In response to CNBC's question about the letter, Meta's Amy, Ame, we do not work with any Chinese providers of the cable systems on systems that we've announced, and we are in full compliance with US policy regulations around partners in the ecosystem and the supply chain. Amazon also told CNBC it does not work with Chinese companies. Microsoft and Google did not return CNBC's request for comment on the letter. To understand how subsea cables work, CNBC visited Alcatel Submarine Networks subsea cable manufacturing facilities in Calais, France, and Greenwich, England. We also spoke to government officials and tech giants to find out why subsea cables are crucial to keeping us connected and what we can do to protect this critical infrastructure. Thank you. Okay. And that's what, 16 minutes. Now we have school. Oh, God. Speaking of UI as a future job, a really awesome article I saw on The Verge. It was like hats off to the chef, compliments to the chef. It's so beautiful. It's like an experience, it's parallax, it's just so much going on. Okay, the internet is carried around the world by hundreds of thousands of miles of slender cables that sit at the bottom of the ocean. Scroll. Ooh, exciting. Look at that. Now what? Oh, it won't let me go. I'm so sad. I could read it somewhere else before. I guess I can't do it anymore. Bummer. This was such a cool page, though, seriously. I'm gonna pause here. Oh, really good stuff. Oh, let's go. Let's not go. I'm sorry. So sorry. Well, I guess that's it, huh? Let me see. See if I can find another way. Ugh. Okay, I guess that's not gonna work. Oh. See. Oh no, we don't see the whole cool thing. What a bummer! It was really such a piece of art, honestly. Oh, it was so cool, like very interactive. You know, I mean, while we're here, they're not going to show us that article. I don't know if we can look at anything else. AI, AI, huh? Chloe. What's plot? This doesn't look as cool. Switchbot. Oh, jeez. Mm. Okay, it's just Black Mirror-y. I don't know about this. What? No, I wish I hadn't. AI can help me make it look like a pleasure twice traveling the world, but I'm convinced that's not a great idea. Why? Oh, we're gonna get cut off. And those ones? Okay. That's it, folks. We gotta wrap it up here. You still have to get a subscription to the budget because the UI guy is phenomenal, brilliant, really great stuff. Sorry, I was tired. I hope you enjoyed the intro, but I'll do another episode on Shield here shortly, and I hope you had a great New Year's break. Love you. See you soon. Bye.